Yeah, I'm like, no, we're gonna move to a 3-bedroom condo or townhouse. Yeah.
Right.
No, a key to this is Cody moving out, and it wouldn't hurt if the dog died as well. That would. That might be this episode's title.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. The dog might die.
Yeah. Please. That's so funny.
We have well covered the topic that I am not an animal lover, so I wish no ill on the animal, and I hope he lives a long and healthy life, happy life.
Yeah, you just hope that life is mostly behind us.
Yeah, it should be mathematically.
Yeah.
You know?
He seems like he's like curmudgeon already for sure. So, that's been true for a long time. He's been around a long while. But I was listening to a podcast. They were talking about magnet fishing. Have you heard of this?
No. I remember the game when you were a kid and you like have to lower the magnet and try to pick up the fish. Yeah,
make that adults in real life with a big magnet and you throw it into like the bayou or whatever and like pull stuff up. And so this couple...
Car parts and stuff, man, crap on the bottom. Okay.
Right. The thing that comes up a lot, apparently, is guns that people have disposed of. The other thing that comes up a lot is safes. They have money in, and sometimes they do. So I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm getting magnet fishing gun. And so, I went to Home Depot and got their like biggest magnet and some rope and threw that in the bayou a bunch of times. And I won big. I got like 3 paper clips and a couple of nails. Like, hey, yeah. So, and it was disgusting. Like, I didn't wear the right clothes at all, and I was like, it's so wet and grody. Like, I wouldn't swim in this water, and so now I'm like covered in it. I'm like, God, now my car's gonna smell like the bayou.
You're in a cocktail dress and heels.
Yeah,
pulling sludge up out of the bayou onto your.
Well, like I was wearing like a white sweatshirt. I was like, oh man, there's mud all over this. I hadn't thought about it. As we learned last week, I don't think about consequences, I guess.
That's why they wear waders to these things, But
like the part that I was super struck by, they were interviewing this couple and they'd gotten a safe and opened it and it had like a whole bunch of money in it. And the couple called the police and like had them look at it. The cops were like, well, we don't really know what to do with it. It's not tied to any crime that we have anything related to, so I guess you can keep it. And it was like $80,000 that they got to keep. And I was like, that's amazing. And like, I so want this to happen to me.
I want to know what the backstory of all these safes ending up in the bayou are. Like, guns, I totally get it. I can paint the picture. But the safe?
Right.
What? You're driving along on a truck, you're the Beverly Hillbillies, and the freaking safe, like,
like, isn't that the thing you're like keeping the most secure to your car? The safe with $80,000 in it? Like,
or it's like you're a pirate. Yeah, you're burying the treasure out in the bayou, or then it floods and
right. Yeah, the couple was from New York, but like, I don't know what the scenario is in which I ever just chuck out a safe, even if I don't know what's in it. I'm gonna get in there before I'm gonna just throw it into the fucking river, And certainly, if it's my safe and I know that it has money in it, I don't know that I get rich enough that I'm like, forget this money. Who cares?
There's just better safe disposal methods than throwing it in the river.
Also, it's littering. It's bad for the environment. Don't do that.
Yeah, people, if you're going to throw away your safes full of $80,000, do it right, okay?
Be like that guy who lost all his Bitcoins and they're in the dump somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Much, much better. Well, listen, Kalyn, I think you've stumbled on how you're going to get rich. So I think we should kick off the episode. Let's cue the music. You are listening to the Robert and Kalyn Get Rich podcast. By hook or by crook, we'll get rich investing in stocks. We'll get rich fishing safes out of the bayou. We don't care. Send us an email and recommend how we might get rich. Robert and Kalyn Get Rich at gmail.com. You are listening to episode 40. This is February 11th, 2025. It is a Tuesday. I'm Robert Kimmel, your host. This is Kalyn Kimmel, your other host. Why don't you subscribe, like, leave us a 5-star review, send us some feedback, put some comments in there about how amazingly funny we are.
And send to your friends.
What you should do is take a safe and pack it full of $80,000. Send it to your friends, and on top, write a note that says, listen to the Robert and Kalyn Get Rich podcast.
I thought you were going to do like message in a bottle style, but with like writing on the money, like in the safe.
You know what, Kalyn? If it gets us listeners, we could try that too. We could toss bottles into the river. Hey, why don't you listen to the Robert and Kalyn Get Rich podcast? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's marketing advice, but the one thing we never give is
financial or investment advice.
Yeah, so right.
Unless that investment advice is like to write on money to listen to Robert and Kalyn Get Rich podcast.
My investment advice is take that $80,000 and send it to us. We'll give you the address. Email us at robertandkalyngetrich@gmail.com.
Yeah, I will fish it out of any river in the country. You tell me where exactly it is.
Exactly. Yeah. Of course, if you can remember that, you probably wouldn't lose it in the river.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. So after listening to the podcast about magnet fishing, I started looking at like stuff about currency, and I found out that like, what do you think the most common in circulation is?
I would say the 20, maybe. No, probably the single.
So the $1 bill is what I would think, but the actual answer is the $100 bill.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah, it just passed.
Because there's like freaking gangsters and drug dealers and mafia people.
So like that's certainly part of it. There's also a lot of people who send money home to people back in other countries that don't have such stable economies, and people travel with a lot of money also for that same reason. That's why we have the $10,000 limit on what you can fly with. The second most popular, by the same logic, I would think it would be the 50, but nope, that's the $1 bill. I'm going to share this. Oops. Okay. Share. Oops. Oh, wait. No, this was the wrong link. Oh, man, I just closed all my things. All right. Never mind. I'm going to do it again. Stop sharing that. Sorry.
We're definitely cutting that.
Yeah. Kalyn's so stupid. She's so stupid.
Now, Kalyn, we've been working on self-talk, okay?
Yeah, we have.
I actually smart. Have been. People like me.
I've been dating myself.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Not in the sense of like showing how old you are. You're dating as in like going on dates.
Yeah. Well, I mean, every time like I look in the mirror, I like, oh, I hate this, I hate that. So now I'm like, you're pretty. That's me dating myself. That's the full extent of like.
I'm gonna try that. I can see myself right now in the pic. You're pretty.
You're so pretty. Anyway. So I found it. The Board of Governors Federal Reserve System. And so this is their print orders. How many of each denomination they have ordered for 2025. So see, they have ordered 0 to 614 million. And for $2 bills, they've ordered at least 300 million.
Wow.
So
we've got a minimum order of 0 20s.
Right.
Yeah. That is just...
I'm surprised.
Who's making these decisions? Like, who's like, what the world needs is more $2 bills.
$2 bills, right.
I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
I'm stupefied by this. We need more 2s than 10s.
Well, we're ordering more 1s, which may help to get us
that makes perfect sense to me. That's like, that's the basic unit.
Than hundreds, but right. No. I'm saying more 1s than hundreds, which...
Oh, sure. By a long shot. By a long shot.
Right. Yeah. If I go down here, you can see what previous years have been.
Yeah.
So, like... This top part is the hundreds. This bottom part's the 1s. So this is where like it's like, wow, we ordered hardly any 1s.
That's COVID, crazy. Baby. That's COVID. Yeah. We needed a lot of 20s and 100s.
Going. Yeah.
We're ordering a lot of DoorDash. We don't need.
Yeah. Like very few 20s, 50s. Like I like $50 bills. I don't like $100 bills. I feel like that's too big of a bill. I don't want to carry that around.
I don't like 50s either. I'll rather carry a freaking fistful of 20s, you know. Even if the wallet's I can't quite close it.
Yeah.
Then 100? I mean, it's like because now I'm like, I got to stop by a gas station, buy a candy bar, and ask if I can get change, and for a break
Right.
100.
Yeah, and nobody really likes getting $100 bill anyways. Like, I go to the grocery store and you break it there because I can use the, check yourself out thing. And, and then I don't have to listen to anybody be like, oh man, and like check it or whatever. Like,
just one more reason for self-check. They don't bitch about the hundos.
Yeah, like money you give them. Yeah, anytime I get a lot of coins, like, which I don't ever have like a jar full or whatever, but I've gone and like paid like $7.87 all in coins at the self-checkout at the grocery store. It's like, and not even quarters. It's like mostly dimes and nickels and pennies. And I'm just like, I'll stand here all day long putting these coins in here.
Meanwhile, there's a
Coinstar
out the door.
Yeah, there's
no. I mean, you got a line of 50 people behind you.
Like, there's a machine to get rid of your change right there, and I'm like, but they want to take a percentage if they want to give me cash, and I'm not about that. I don't want to just automatically have to get an Amazon gift card. So fuck off. I'm going to use this in the machine. This is legal tender. I will pay however I want to pay.
I read a related article about pennies, and evidently Coinstar accounts for like half of the pennies in this world that come back into circulation. So
I'm not surprised. Who wants?
But the main thing that happens to pennies is they get lost. They just disappear into people's couch cushions and jars at home. And
I don't think they're magnetic though, are they? I won't find them when I go fishing. Are pennies magnetic? Yeah, they are.
I don't. There's zinc in the middle.
Like,
there's a zinc slug coated in copper. I don't think zinc is magnetic.
I would have gotten 1 penny while fishing if they were.
Based on the typical paper clip to penny ratio in the average drawer. You should have probably found a penny by now.
Right.
I have some updates from previous podcasts here I think are really important, and you're going to...
Yeah.
So new executive order. You may have heard about this, but not only is it now called the Gulf of America.
Oh, we get to have a holiday?
That's right. Trump declared February 9th to be Gulf of America Day, and it was, I guess it's only 2025. So he flew over the former Gulf of Mexico for the first time in his presidency. And during that flight on Air Force One, I signed the proclamation to call it the Gulf of America, and to make it Gulf of America Day. And then this is big news today. This came out today. You go Google Maps.
Hot off the presses. Look at that. I was just going to ask.
If you search on Google Maps, it is now called the Gulf of America.
Gulf of America. Yeah.
But this one I predict you're just gonna love this. You're gonna love it.
I bet I will.
I'm tickled just thinking about it.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. So this is a level down from. President gets to name huge bodies of water and the largest mountains. Guys under that get to name under things. So let's go to the Secretary of Defense. So Secretary of Defense Hegseth has declared that we've renamed Fort Liberty into Fort Bragg. Now, rewinding the clock a little bit, Fort Liberty used to be called Fort Bragg. It was one of 10 or 11 bases that were named after Confederate generals, and they renamed to other things. So they get this really boring name, Fort Liberty.
Yeah.
So he's come out and said, that's it, we're going to rename it Fort Bragg. But what the Army did is they said they're not going to name it after Braxton Bragg, the Confederate general. It's named after Ronald L. Bragg, who was a guy who won a Silver Star and a Purple Heart for World War II. You go look this guy up, you can't find anything else about him.
And they're like, there has got to be someone else named Bragg who has been in the fucking you said the Navy or Army?
Army. He was in the Airborne Division. He fought in the Battle of.
They're like, we'll just find anyone who has that name in our records ever. This is our best one.
This is the best one. We just found just found that. And I mean, listen. Purple Star and Purple Heart and Silver Star aren't nothing, but it's like. This isn't exactly like a Medal of Honor winner.
Don't you get a Purple Heart when you get injured, right? Like in the
correct. Yeah.
I don't know what a Silver Star, what you get that for. I mean, I'm sure it's doing something.
It's a medal for bravery. It's a deal. It's a big deal. I mean, there's Bronze Star and then there's Silver Star and then I think the next one after that's the Medal of Honor.
Right. But we're not even naming after a general or anything. We're just like, what?
Just some guy you can't even find on the internet, and
some medium level officer. Like, I don't know how high up that is.
No, PFC Bragg. He was a private. First class.
Okay, so that's not even to the officer level.
No, that's not. No, he was probably 18 to 22 when they dumped him over Normandy or whatever.
So, but he didn't die. He didn't die over there or anything. So
no, he did not.
He could have moved up the ranks further, but they're just like maybe he got injured and that's why he quit. I don't know.
Yeah, this is my favorite paragraph of the news article, which was again back to the old brag. He was one of the worst generals of the Civil War, and most of the ones he lost involved a defeat and tremendous loss for the Confederate Army.
Why did we ever have a fort named after him then?
Right.
Why did that ever get chosen? Like, who came up with that? Was it like some politician who's like just related to this guy, and they're like, he's got a really bad rap right now, so we're gonna make this his fort. Like, or weren't there other, I guess he was a general, but I guess we were just like, we're going to go ahead to make it privates, because if you would just go with generals, we get really low on good generals. So that's how we ended up with this terrible general.
You know what? We'll have to make that homework. Yeah. I can't find why we named it after Braxton Bragg. One of the worst. Not like evil worst, like just bad at it, this bumblefuck of a general who got all his guys killed.
Right. He was on the Confederate side, so at least he was like the loser, the worst loser on the losing side. We're like, haha, Confederacy. This guy partially lost you the war, which won it for the rest of us Americans. But it's still just like somebody who we can't find online at all. This guy that we named.
It's a random private.
He had the right last name. That's what he is known for.
I cannot wait for the update of this where they like dig him up. They find out he's the most racist motherfucker in all of. Oh,
absolutely. He was executed for like raping too many people or something. Yeah.
Too many little black girls or something. God, something awful.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're going to be like,
why did we name it?
Yeah, damn it.
Final brag of all the people to pick. We should have gone with the fucking moron Confederate general. Like,
yeah, right? Who lost the war for them. Like, whatever. I don't know. How's our stock account going?
Oh my God. Well, see, here's the thing. I didn't have the tabs up, so I'm not even following protocol.
Oh.
Obviously, not too much has happened since Friday when we recorded last. But
we're still better, it's up today. We're better than we were around 17%, I guess.
Yeah, and now we're getting closer to 18%, so that's going great.
Yeah, look at that.
You know, Reddit had a tough day. I don't know why. I hadn't really looked into that. Eagle Pharmaceutical had a great day because it's a Tuesday.
How's the S&P doing?
S&P was essentially flat today, so our up 0.21 just creamed him. Yeah. And so we're up total of 7%. And
how are our friends doing at losing money?
I don't know, but I'm not optimistic. Or if it's about losing money, then I am fairly optimistic. They're at negative 2.
They're almost back to they're almost back in black.
Yeah. I mean, they're in essentially the same position they were in from last week.
I like that long graph. It's like,
they're not doing anything. It's just
you guys are doing nothing.
I was going to go ahead and talk about something else, which was the potato shipping stuff that you sent me.
Oh yeah, I was like, this guy.
Well, yeah, but you didn't do your diligence. Like, these guys are like still here years. That thing was filmed several years ago. They're still a legit business. They went on Shark Tank and they've been backed by Kevin O'Leary.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so, here's Kevin O'Leary's picture on a potato, the classy potato gift bundle.
Man, this looks like a lot more overhead though. Like, I'm sure they're making more money or whatever, but I was just like, man, this guy with his he's wearing overalls with no shirt, and he's like, but just not in a country bumpkin way, like a frat dude pretending to be a country bumpkin, and he's just like, yeah, man, I've touched so many lives. Like, if you think about it, I sent 10,000 potatoes all over the U.S. Like, that's 10,000 people who I've touched their life, and I'm like, yeah. Though I was like, man, if I got a potato in the mail, like in a vanilla envelope, and it's just like a potato from you saying like, fuck you, Kalyn, or whatever,
right?
I would be like, this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. Like,
so shortly after getting that message from you and watching the video and then going and seeing, are these guys still a thing or whatever? The next text I get is, Lauren, emailed Kiara and me asking, Andrea's birthday's coming up. Do you guys have any ideas? And I said,
you're like, I sure do.
Perfect timing. I was just,
I know what she's going to love.
Can you think of a better person on earth to get a potato in a box? And like you can put her face on it?
Yeah. If you want to go fancy, yeah. I kind of like the handwritten. He's like, these are the best pins for writing on potatoes, for sure.
He's giving away all his trade secrets because now, I mean, you could, like, why would you pay this jamoke $10 instead of just getting a potato?
Why wouldn't I just do it myself? Yeah. You may be getting a potato in the mail. Who knows? From me. I'm not paying all that overhead.
Yeah. This is a low-cost operation. We've got the lowest cost handwriting on potatoes operation in the planet.
Right.
Yeah. So this cat goes on Shark Tank. All right. And it turns out, so this other guy bought him out for $42,000. Okay. Right. So that's the guy presenting on Shark Tank, although the original guy was there because they had this deal where if they get on Shark Tank, he gets a royalty of all the sales for 6 months after the Shark Tank. Anyway, and
man, good.
They had trailing sales of $215,000 of shipped potatoes that they present, and Kevin O'Leary and Robert, what's his name? They start competing to invest in shipapotato.com, and Kevin O'Leary wins it out with one of his cockamamie royalty deals. So anyway.
Wow. I watched a video right after that, like that I'd saved also. It was about this guy who has like a laundry washateria or whatever, where you go when you're poor, or me. If you want to watch
or cheap. You don't have to be poor, you just have to be cheap.
So he's breaking down his profits, and like for February, including labor, net, he got like $30,000. And I was like, I had no idea these washaterias made that much money. That seems like a lot. I'm like, I could have that. I want to buy one of these now. Like, or a potato shipping business. I'm like, what are these money making things? Poshmark has been doing okay, but I could be making a lot more if I was shipping potatoes. I've heard very good things about car wash, like do it yourself car wash places.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I washed my car myself.
We do it here a lot because your freaking floor mats get disgusting in the winter with the salt. Right. And and you can't. That's not something you can get at the automated car wash.
Like you drive into a little thing and then you get out and you get all wet spraying your car down, and not like have your car go through a thing. So
the last time I did that was I had taken Cody on a camp out in the Kia, and it rained and poured and it was muddy and disgusting, and I brought this car to the car wash. It looked like a Range Rover commercial, where the thing
looked like someone was butting. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm spraying off mud that's like 4 inches thick, in the wheel wells and stuff like that. And, it's filthy. It's cold, of course it's always cold, when you're needing to use one of these car washes. Yeah. And I get home and Andre's like, there's a little bit of mud here, I'm like, do you understand the condition this car was in?
You're like, man.
I like jumped.
Yeah. You're like, I just took it. So
yeah, exactly. Like, you have any idea how filthy this was that I...
She's on top of it with like cars being clean.
Absolutely. It's tough being in these environments up here with the winter, the salt, but we're at the damn car wash all the freaking time. And the thing that drives me crazy is I could do it if it's just you drive through the car wash once in a while and drive away. But an Andrea car wash, Her Majesty's car wash,
vacuuming and stuff.
You got to get out. You got to wipe down the surfaces. You got to do the vacuums. You got to dry the damn car. Right. I'm like, this car is going to be dirty this afternoon. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, we'll be back here in a couple of days. Yeah.
And Cody has to ride in it once to freaking... There's food everywhere.
Cody breathes nearby it, and it's gonna have some dirt on the floor or whatever. Yeah. After we'd driven back from Boston and we'd gone to do the car wash and stuff, I was driving for whatever reason. She didn't want to drive, and she goes in the cup holder and she was like, "There's salt in here," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I just put that in there because I didn't want us to get in trouble for not keeping it clean during the road trip." So I was like, "I just did that," and she's like, "You just did this?" I was like, "Yes." What?
Yes.
I'm a guest.
That's what I do. I put salt in cup holders. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I was like, man, I like felt like I was getting you in trouble left and right last time for like my messes. Like Andrea's like, what's going on in my sitting room? And I'm like, oh, that's all my paint stuff. Like, oops, shoot, that was my fault.
I knew I was in trouble. We took our honeymoon trip, which was fly to Houston, borrow mom and dad's at the time minivan, and drive out to the Grand Canyon with some other. We went to Santa Fe and some various stops, right?
Yeah.
And whenever she was like, "You think we should clean the car before the trip so we have a nice clean car for the trip?" And I was like, "Clean the car before a trip, before a road trip." This is. I mean, it's in the same
like,
logical thread as like this. Let's get a cat. You know, it's like, what are you talking about?
And also so foreign from like what we were raised with.
Yeah.
I don't know. The idea of mom and dad cleaning the car, period. Like,
knowing that what I know now, Her Majesty must have been horrified getting in that town and country with like 50 pens in the ashtray, you know,
games,
and
like part cards just like stuffed into like the back behind the seats. There's like 17 maps and like all of which are old. Like, yeah.
Or
Kleenex boxes that are kicked like 50 times, stuffed under the seat.
A hole worn in the carpet, you know, in the back, and And the other time, Andrea must have been just horrified as like, mom, you know, when we're done with dinner, mom, there's leftovers, taco meat. She just takes the pan, puts it in the fridge,
sets it in the fridge, right?
No cover.
Yeah, she might take the pan lid and flip it upside down and put that in there. Like, I can imagine like Andrea's first experience at mom and dad's house in general, just being like. Like going in the kitchen is like, let's open the pantry door, and it's just stuffed to the fucking gills with like everything, you know, like
old
so
recipes,
much stuff,
like
and things are like super old. Like you pull out like a taco seasoning packet that's like from the 80s in there, like, you know, or whatever.
Right. It's got Lee Iacocca's picture on it.
Yeah, like, she's like, is it safe to eat here? I don't know, like. You know, but it used to be when they go out of town, I'd go and like clean out their fridge or freezer because they like will keep things too long. Like they had a turkey that was in the freezer for literally at least 7 years, maybe 10 years. And I was like, this takes up a fucking lot of space and this thing is bad. And like I mentioned it to mom a bunch of times, right?
Yeah.
Because she's like, I'm going to take care of the turkey. I'm going to take care of it. I'm like, what is the holdup? Like, what? I'll take care of it right now. I'll just take it out to the trash
just the
can.
right
like,
moment.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
you pick it up, you put it in the trash can.
Man, they went out of town and I was like threw that shit away immediately. It's like a third of their freezer, you know? As I was in there, I like found this, man, I can't remember what it was. It was some weird sounding like pre-made meal thing. It was like basically like chunks of pork loin in with vegetables, frozen dinner thing, right? It was weird to begin with. And it had an expiration date of like 2012.
Yeah.
I did this recently. And I was like, okay, no. Yeah, this can't be. I'm concerned
maybe if
about
it was
you guys.
if it was in the can, it's canned and like, seal never been broken.
Yeah, if it was in a can maybe, but and like frozen food, you can keep for a pretty long time, but you can't keep things for multiple years.
If it's been even decades.
A turkey will go bad. A turkey will go bad eventually. Like, you should not eat that. It's not okay. There are like...
Well, she had no intent of eating it either.
No.
Because that would be the alternative to throwing it away.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you going to do with this turkey that's been here for fucking ever? They have like the bottom pool freezer. It's like your freezer if you put a turkey in there.
Yeah.
So it's like half the freezer space gone immediately, you know? And like, they got back into town and like, oh man, did I get it for that.
Is that right?
They were so...
Would you throw away my turkey? Yeah. Did you tell them, well, the power went out and it thawed and I had to throw it out?
No, because I would be like, I left everything in the fridge, but like, you know, whatever. Like, but like, I didn't throw away that much. That time I like threw away that and then like the shit that they were never going to eat, like ever, clearly. See, they had like a frozen pack of lima beans or like lima beans frozen. I'm like, who wants just lima beans? That sucks. Like... You know, when it comes in mixed vegetables, like, I'm always like, get the lima beans out of here. But, like, you just get
that
only
rare
lima
recipe
beans.
that calls for frozen lima bean. Add a half cup of frozen lima
beans. Like, Yeah, like I thought we were keeping the lima beans in the world. Like we were keeping them from going extinct by having them in frozen vegetables to
You were
begin with.
saving
Like,
them
like, but yeah. So like
remote
I throw
outpost
a
in the
whole lot of-
Arctic holding the lima bean
right.
genes to survive global warming.
Totally, but like, yeah. Mom was like, "Why did you throw away that turkey?" I'm like, because you clearly weren't gonna do it, and like, why are you mad about it? Like, who cares? Like, I don't know. Yeah, Mom was really pissed about that.
Before I met Andrea, I would have said, yeah, we're pretty clean people. Yeah, we're a little, we pile things
Pack
up,
ratty.
pile a lot of a little pack ratty, a little not disorganized,
Right.
but we're by and large clean people. And then you marry Andrea and a few years of that, and you're like, my God, is this filthy house, Scott?
Right. Yeah. I feel like I've landed like kind of in between.
Yeah.
I know that if Andrea came to my house, she'd be like, I do have an urge to start vacuuming things right now. But but I don't think she'd be like I do vacuum way more frequently than I used to and stuff. But I don't know.
You need something to do.
And vacuuming is not that thing, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It should be starting my own business. My
Shipping
potato
potatoes.
business.
Well, maybe one thing you should be
gummy
doing
bears.
is ship some gummy.
Eating gummy bears.
Yeah, we'll ship you. We'll write any note you want on a giant gummy bear.
50-pound gummy bear.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do it for $19.99 because the damn gummy bear costs $25 or something. So.
Right. Yeah.
So our weigh-in is at 1 pound 14.9 ounces. Here we go.
Wow.
I'm getting hungry for dinner too, so I might eat about half this.
It does really look like a burger size now. Like when you grab it, like it's a big burger, but it does look like it could be a burger. I'm excited about it.
I don't know if you can see this chomp I just laid into this thing. It's
I know. I'm impressed because most of your chomps, I'm like, that's not much of a bite. Watch out! I do it.
This is something you would definitely throw out of my fridge if you came to my house and cleaned out the fridge.
I was really happy when that storm came not that long ago and the power was out for a couple days because then they had to throw everything away. I was like, that's probably a good thing. You guys keep things a little bit long, but I suppose I do too. When it comes to condiments, I'm always like, I don't know how long I can keep this shit. How long does this thing stay good? I don't know.
Right. How long
Might
is
as well just
ketchup
leave
good?
it. Yeah. Right.
We are now at 1 pound 12.7 ounces. So
dang.
I think you determined we need 2.8 last time.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything like 2.8, but
if we get to episode 50 and there's still some there, then we can make Kelly and Justin eat it, and I'll be there. I'll be in town to eat some the week before, probably. I don't know.
Oh, so here's the question. Okay, rewinding the clock all the way back to Kiara's boyfriend Joaquin visiting. And wanting to be on the podcast. So we could obviously podcast with him anytime remote.
Yeah.
But if he's in town, do we want to do a special podcast this Friday?
Sure. I mean, what are we going to talk to him about? Besides Kiara. Yeah. I don't know much about him. The only people under 18 that I hang out with are Kiara and Cody, and I guess I can say I hang out with Rhett. I'm related to 18. Him. So but yeah, otherwise I don't hang out with people that aren't real yet, aren't adults yet.
Don't vote.
Aren't.
I only talk to people that vote. Can't vote.
Yeah, I mean, not that I did. I didn't even vote this last election.
Yeah, that's why I shifted gears from not they did vote, but they could. I don't know if they voted or not, but they could vote.
Yeah. We could definitely make him eat the gummy taco and stuff. He's Mexican.
Oh my
God.
Mexican. He's Mexican. You're Mexican.
He's half Armenian. He's Mexican Armenian. So yeah,
Mexican
here you go, have some taco.
Sure.
You'll feel right at home when you have this taco of spaghetti with strawberries and a taco shell.
All right, Kalyn.
Yeah, let's do the Rhett special. Or not the Rhett special. I said, yeah, let's do the Rhett special.
We're going to have
Meaning
Rhett
Joaquin
on.
special.
We'll be like, what do you think I'm going to need? What do you think?
How are you preparing for the future? How are you preparing?
Are you?
Bananas? You like bananas? I don't know.
All right, Kalyn.
That's fine.
I think it's time.
Yeah.
We've run through the agenda items. We've covered our bases. We should wrap this show up. Let's cue the music.
Sounds.
You've been listening to the Robert and Kalyn Get Rich podcast here on February 11th, 2025. I'm Robert. By the way, I don't even know. I started getting into this mode of like intro.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
We don't need intro at the end.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Guys.
If you haven't done so already, please rate and subscribe and like and what else? Other things. Send it to your friendly and friends.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Send us an email. You know the address. All right.
If you need any advice on storing food durations,
turkeys long term,
yeah,
go to the FDA site. Don't listen to us. We don't give advice.
Absolutely.
Especially not financial or investment advice.
You're so right. So if that's what you came here for, you just clicked on the wrong podcast. And if you made it this long,
how have you ended up here? Like, I don't know how you're still alive. If you're coming here for finding out how long to store a turkey, then
it's like
your English skills aren't great.
It's like going watching the Swedish Chef for cooking as a cooking show. So anyway. All right. We've resorted to Swedish Chef impersonations, Kalyn. I think it's time to say goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.